Do you want to become better at Bedwars PvP? Well, you've come to the right place. If you enjoy this video or end up finding it helpful, please make sure to subscribe. It would mean a lot to me, but you don't have to if you don't. Let's get on with the video. Now, to become good at Bedwars PvP, there are three main mechanics that go into it. And those are your basic raw PvP skills, being able to win bridge fight, and also using the different utility available to you. Now let's get started with the basics of Minecraft PvP. You're going to want to choose a clicking method you're most comfortable with. I personally use butterfly clicking because it gives me the most CPS and I can aim best with it. Of course, aim is probably the most important factor here. And you also want to do things such as W tapping or maybe even S tapping. And strafing matters too because Minecraft PvP is a very movement-based game mode. Block hitting is another useful mechanism, except you want to make sure you're not just spamming it and are actually timing it. At the end of the day, getting a combo on your opponent is much easier than having to just trade hits in order to win the fight. Those are basically the main mechanisms of raw Minecraft PvP. Now what about bridge fights? So for winning bridge fights, height is probably the most important factor because obviously if you're above your opponent, you're going to be able to jump down at him and surprise him, knock him off, even get a good combo on him. One really good way to practice getting good at bridge fights is playing the bridge on Hypixel. Of course, you can't do as many things in the bridge as you can in Bedwars, however, it is still a good way to practice bridge fights. Now, there's one extremely good item that can be very useful during bridge fights, and those are ladders. However, we're gonna get into those later. And honestly, that's pretty much it for bridge fights. You just gotta practice. The more you practice, of course, the better you're gonna get at it. And as long as you have more height over your opponent, or if you just don't fall off, I mean, you should be pretty good. And of course, block clutching can be pretty helpful too, which is another thing that you could practice while you're playing the bridge. Okay, now that we have all the easy stuff out of the way, here comes the longer part of this video, and that is using your utility in Bedwars. Now, at first you might be thinking, what kind of utility can you even use in Bedwars? I mean, there's not really like snowballs and fishing rods and things like that you would find in Skywars. So what kind of utility really is there that you could use to help you win fight? Now believe it or not, but there's actually a ton of different utility that you can use in Bedwars. To show this, I've gone on a private game with my friend. So we're going to start out with blocks, which are really useful because you can stop your opponents in their tracks, diminishing their movement, and then get an easy combo on them afterwards. Blocks are obviously very important and you have them on you basically every single round. So you might as well start using them to help you get an advantage in PvP. Next up are ladders, which you not only can clutch on, but you can also take reduced KB while you are climbing up them, easily enabling you to win bridge fights as I had mentioned earlier. Of course, you can just throw fireballs at your opponents, but you can also use them to fireball jump above them and knock them off. You can also do the same thing with TNT jumping by placing TNT, getting above your opponents and also knocking them off. Knockback sticks are pretty self-explanatory, but you can basically use them to smack people into the void. Aggro pearling using ender pearls can also help you get easy combos. If you have the speed effect by drinking a speed potion, you can get very easy combos on your opponents since Minecraft PvP again is a very movement based game. Using a jump boost potion and getting the jump boost effect can also be pretty useful for jumping over your opponents and knocking them off. You can also use these to confuse your opponents because if you're just bouncing around everywhere, they literally won't be able to hit you. Drinking an invis pot is very useful, of course. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You literally just go invisible and surprise your opponents. Now you will always never use this next item, but you can actually use a bridge egg as a regular egg projectile to combo your opponents, but it's way too situational and you're most likely not going to use it for that reason. You can also use this with a bed bug and use it as a regular snowball, except again, you guys are almost never going to use these two items because it's way too situational and you're most likely going to be finding these items useful for other reasons, aka what they were supposed to be used for. However, if you are looking for projectile, you can use a bow and arrow to combo your opponents because if you shoot them, it works like a regular projectile and you can get pretty nice combos on them. Wow, that was a lot of items, but don't worry, you guys aren't going to have to hear me talk a lot more about them because those were most of the important utility items that you can use in Bedwars. Again, none of these tactics will probably come to you at first. You guys will have to practice them a little bit, but eventually you guys will get the hang of them. And regardless, all these tips are super important for improving your skill and you can use these in Bedwars PvP. Once again, if you ended up enjoying this video or if you found it helpful, it would mean a lot to me and I would appreciate it a lot if you can hit that red subscribe button. Make sure to leave a like on the video as well, and you can always check out some of my other videos if you found this one entertaining and if you'd like to watch another one. I'll have one that I think you'll like linked in the description below, or you could just wait till the end screen and click on any of the videos on there. But anyways, without further ado, I think this is a great place to wrap the video off here. I'm Royal and I'm out. See you next time. Peace.